The Type 23s were a class of frigates built for the Royal Navy, from the late 1980s to the early 2000s. They have for the most part been the workhorses of the fleet ever since their introduction, performing multiple roles depending on the task at hand. They have in that respect fulfilled much of what they were built for, to be a versatile and affordable platform to provide both specialised capabilities, like anti-submarine warfare, as well as general-purpose capabilities, like maritime security and patrol operations. What's undeniable is that these ships have been made to do far more than what they were initially intended to. As built, these ships were expected to serve around 18 years in the Royal Navy. Plans were that they would then be replaced by the Future Surface Combatant programme. But ballooning costs of the Type 45 destroyers, in combination with the overly ambitious design proposals for the upcoming frigate, meant that this programme had to be cancelled in its present form in 2004. In its place would arise early ideas around a two-class solution. You can see how this has shifted into the Type 26 and Type 31 classes of frigates. Taking over from the Future Surface Combatant programme post-cancellation was the Global Combat Ship, which is what you and I would now recognise as the Type 26 frigate. The first of these new Type 26s was initially expected to be delivered by 2023, but alas, this did not happen because of delays, and the first in the class, HMS Glasgow, is now scheduled for commissioning by 2028. The issue with this was that by the start of the 2020s, the oldest Type 23s were beginning to reach 30 years of age. This was problematic, considering there was no immediate replacement in sight. As of 2020, the Royal Navy fielded 13 of these frigates, the 3 others having been sold to Chile over a decade earlier. But since then, this number has fallen rapidly, with 5 of the class having been decommissioned since 2020. Another ship, HMS Lancaster, is to be decommissioned later this year, which will bring the total number of ships left in service to only 7 units. If the intention was for the Type 23s to bridge the gap between the old and new generations of frigate, then that metaphorical bridge is clearly showing signs of collapse. During a select defence committee, Admiral Sir Tony Radican stated that you have frigates that are really old and coming to the end of their life. They are due to be replaced. The replacements aren't quite ready yet, so you're in a difficult transition. This statement ultimately highlights what is being faced at the moment, a very difficult transition period. The Royal Navy was faced with the decision to either invest in future ship programmes or to prioritise upgrading older platforms in order to facilitate a smooth crossover period, and they ultimately went with the former route, and as a consequence, the Type 23s are now feeling the burden of their age. Despite this, we cannot let this distract us from what has been a highly successful class of ship, especially when compared to more recent classes that have experienced issues in some areas which have then affected their availability. The Type 23s have been well suited for a wide range of roles, but at the end of the day, we are to be entering into the next generation of frigates within a few years' time. The Type 26, for example, is a significant advancement over its predecessor, being a much bigger ship which will have substantially more weapon systems and features on board. As well as retaining the Sea Scepter air defence missiles, the Type 26 will also be equipped with the Mark 41 VLS. This is not a new system in the world by any means, but it is a new system for the Royal Navy. Mark 41 has the added benefit of giving the Royal Navy a wide selection of missiles to choose from if future requirements demanded it. Rather than being built for only one missile type, the Mark 41 is capable of taking multiple, such as surface-to-air missiles, surface-to-surface missiles, and even anti-submarine rockets. Current plans are for the Royal Navy to replace what was a 13-ship frigate fleet a few years ago on a one-to-one basis. This involves the procurement of 8 of the previously mentioned Type 26 and 5 of the general-purpose Type 31s. We don't know the exact missile composition of this class yet. What we do know is that the Type 31s will be carrying the Sea Scepter missiles in some capacity, providing a medium-range air defence capability. The Type 31s are a budget ship in many ways. Not a bad design, but certainly one that was heavily influenced by the need to save money. This design can be refitted with the installation of the previously mentioned Mark 41 VLS, but doubts persist if this will ever be done. If this were to happen, then it would have to be integrated at a later date, such as during midlife refits rather than as built. It was anticipated a few years ago that the youngest Type 23, HMS St Albans, would remain in service until 2035, but this is in many ways optimistic and possibly subject to change. Some of the remaining Type 23s have and will continue to be upgraded to keep them in service for the time being, but the design they are built upon ultimately has its roots in the 1980s. What's for sure is that these ships are slowly reaching the end of the line, and it will certainly be a shame when they are all gone. What do you think about the Type 23? Should the Royal Navy have kept the ones we had until their replacements were ready? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Consider joining the channel Discord server. If you liked this video, chances are you'll like it there too. We have some good people over there. Thank you for watching. Goodbye.